Hello and welcome back to Jenna Gets Creative. It's Artmas Day 18 and today I'd like to talk about some unpopular Christmas opinions. I'm sure you've got some too, so feel free to leave them in the comments down below and we'll have a good discussion. What's your stance on eggnog? What goes in a stocking? And is that meant to be from family or from Santa? Do you absolutely have to kiss under the mistletoe? Sound off, I'd love to hear your opinions. By the way, if you're new here, I'd love it if you would subscribe and turn on notifications. Normally, I upload twice a week at minimum, every Tuesday and Thursday, with bonus uploads some weeks. This month, I'm doing holiday-themed uploads every day up to and including Christmas, and then my channel and I will be taking a break over New Year's. Officially, my channel is scheduled to return on Thursday, January 9th, but if I can get one more little project together after I finish my big projects over the next week, I may have something scheduled to go live on the 2nd while I'm away. Don't worry if I don't, but I'm hoping I will. And of course, if you like this video, don't forget to hit like and leave a comment down below. Tell me if you agree or disagree with the opinions I'm about to share. First up, since it's what I'm drawing today, eggnog. I hate it. I know a lot of people can't wait for November when the grocery stores start stocking it. Some people like it as is. Some people like to mix it with alcohol. I think it tastes horrible, and so does my husband. I also hated completing this drawing. This is roughly what the local dairy brand's eggnog cartons look like, except I didn't include the word eggnog anywhere, and they have a couple more floating pine cones stuffed into random evergreen twigs. I intended to do this illustration in marker, so it would go quickly, and it was on my topics list as being a marker piece, but not only did I not put it in a sketchbook that's good for marker work, I put it on the reverse side of a watercolor I really like, so I wasn't willing to risk having alcohol ink bleed through the page. So I had to do paint or pencil. I did not want to do that lettering in the cream color against the burnt orangey red field in watercolor, so pencil it had to be. Slow, tedious pencil. Pencil which requires burnishing. On a very rough-toothed, cold-press mixed media paper that's already a little warped from the previously mentioned watercolor on the other side. I really do love colored pencil, but it's eggnog. In hindsight, I could have traced over onto marker paper. But back to the discussion topic. Also in the category of Christmas sweet drinks and treats I don't like, Nanaimo bars, date squares, or any other confections that are served in cubes and bridge the gap between cookie and cake. I think it's because I'm not a huge fan of plain custard, and I really don't like coconut, and between those, most sweet squares are eliminated. By the way, what do you classify those types of treats as where you live? My husband, his family, and a large number of their friends and neighbors call those things cookies, but I do not. Any dessert that can be called a bar is usually dense and stands quite a bit taller than the average cookie. They're almost like a cake, similar to a layered brownie. When it comes to decorating, do you prefer real trees or fake ones? Multicolored lights or all white? What does the word tinsel mean to you? I prefer artificial trees because there's no mess as it slowly dies and falls apart in your living room, and it won't potentially dry out and catch fire either. Plus, these days so many artificial trees come pre-lit, which is handy. Just plug the sections of the tree together and plug the bottom one into the wall. You go from no tree to a lit one in 2 minutes. As for tinsel, I hear so many people calling garlands tinsel, but to me, tinsel is a word reserved for loose strands of foil. According to Wikipedia, though, my definition disagrees with the original intent. Tinsel is all sparkly strips of foil, but more specifically, it does apply to foil garlands. The loose tinsel is also called lametta. Either way, both forms of tinsel used to be made from actual heavy metals, including silver and lead, Silver was safer to be in contact with, of course, but it would tarnish and lose its luster. Modern tinsel is usually made from PVC with a metallic coating, though mylar film used to be a more popular alternative. I remember the mylar lamina was everywhere in the 90s, and then suddenly sometime in my teens it just plain disappeared. Local stores didn't sell it. In fact, to this day, some years you can't find lamina of any type in any local stores at all. Not even the tacky PVC stuff that doesn't hang right. Ooh, another tree decorating debate. What goes on top of your tree, a star or an angel? I prefer a star, and I think 9 out of 10 modern angel toppers sold these days are far too big for what they are. Last but not least, let's talk Christmas music. When is it appropriate for stores and restaurants to start playing Christmas music? When do you start wanting to sing Christmas carols? And the big, potentially controversial one, what's your opinion on the song Baby It's Cold Outside? I think businesses shouldn't start with the Christmas music until December 1st, because most people don't want to be sick of hearing it by Christmas. When do I start singing Christmas carols? Well, to be honest, I'll randomly catch myself singing O Yulamet and Gleda while I'm doing the dishes at any old time of year, but generally, again, December 1st. As for Baby It's Cold Outside, I've come full circle on that one. I loved it as a kid. I got into my early 20s and I started to hear it with a 21st century mindset, thought it was a bit rapey, and now I've come back around to appreciating it for what it was at the time it was written. It was written in the 1940s when women were just starting to make the choices they wanted to make, rather than the choices they felt they should make when it came to relations with charming young men. The woman in the song is being coy, but she isn't resisting, and the man isn't being coercive. Also, keep in mind that line, "Hey, what's in this drink?" was a common idiom at the time. In this case, she's giving herself permission to give in to promiscuity by blaming it on the alcohol.